Okay, so in this video we're going to be going over the Fairy Gnome Village Dollar Tree goodies, and this section we're going to be going over the flower houses. We've done the mushroom houses and the moss houses, and we've got a couple more different categories. Man, they are just like, they got these houses like crazy this year. I cannot believe how many houses they got. Now these are not my favorite. I mean, come on, they're girly, you know, but I got little kids, and you do need some variety. You don't need variety. You need variety. For $1, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. The first one I'm going to do is the one that's like the oddball, and it is a shell. It is not a flower. It is a shell, and it is plain on the back. The bad thing is it has a gnome climbing on a ladder on top of it. It does have a window. It has a bluebird up here. It has a chimney and some little toadstools. So it also says home on top. So if you want, I wouldn't, you can pass on this. I only got one of these. I didn't try to get doubles or anything, but I got one of these. So compared to a regular human, we're using a Marienberger here. He actually fits pretty well in the doorway. And one of your little gnome guys, he's the same scale as this dude here, so that's cool. And what are you going to use? Our 40K Elder. Now he's got a really tall hat and some extra greeblies on him, but that's what a 40K guy looks like up against that. So that is the conch shell. I know it's not exactly a conch, but it's close to it's like a snail shell, I guess. Hermit crab shell here. I know hermit crabs don't make shells. They steal shells. I had a hermit crab for like a really long time. So anyway, getting off topic. Our next one is a yellow flower house. It has 2 windows and a door. It has a 3rd window down here. It's got some sunflowers on either side and a little cobblestone right there. So the back side is pretty plain. Nothing going on there. Here for scale, here's our gnome. He's a little tall. So here's a goblin. Our friendly little goblin fits in there just perfectly. And our fantasy human, which is a little tall. But it works pretty well. The scale works pretty well for a gnome. Next we'll go with the other yellow house here. And this one has multiple little minarets here. They're different colors. Got blue, yellow, and pink. It's got 1, 2, 3 windows and a blue door with some flowers along the outside here. Oh, there's a stone, sorry. My eyes are not so good. And a grass base here. Backside. It still has some paint back here. They didn't forget the paint on the backside, which is nice, but it's pretty plain. But it's a pretty cool one, Here is a human for scale. So not terrible. And a goblin here for scale. Every time I talk really loud, my sync is echoing. But here we go. Goblin. Next we'll start on these purple guys. This is like a succulent. I don't think this is technically a flower. I think it's some kind of other little deal. But it also, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3 windows and some vine work going on here. Wooden door with little, what do you call those? Canopy right there. And a pink flower around the backside. Pretty plain. There's not really a whole lot of paint here, but there's paint back here, so that's a bonus. And here's our little goblin friend. Here, he works perfectly in there. Our human for scale, not perfect, but if you put him down here, it's not terrible. What happens with this stuff is you put this stuff on the table and you got your little guys running around down here, and your brain will fill in the gaps. you know, your brain will automatically, your imagination will upscale and downscale things. They don't have to be perfect. It's a game. So don't worry too much about the scale or anything like that, or repainting these, because people will look and be, wow, it's fucking amazing, you know? And it's like your imagination and your brain will automatically fill in the gaps of any of the inconsistencies in any of your terrain. So this one is a purple. It has a hidden window up here that has not been detailed out. The detail hasn't been picked out of that. It says welcome across the top. Some mushrooms here and a flower right here. Some vine work here. A little stump right there. And you can see there are two separate towers here. And there's the top little squiggly. And actually a pretty tall window. Let's check our human here. Up against there, look. That is actually 2 scale. So you got a 2 scale human. I'm putting him up. Whenever I do this, I put him up on the top stair. So he's like actually walking out. I don't put him down here, because I put him up here for scale. Here's our little goblin here. So that is our second purple flower-based house. Now we're going to go on to the pinks. And this is a pink one, and it has another unpicked out window over here and a second unpicked out window over here. So you can pick these out with some purple, because this is purple window. This is purple window. So you got 4 windows. 4 windows. And a round door with a peak window, some flowers, and a little fence on the side here. On the back side, we have basically nothing. Let's see how he measures up to a human. And it's iffy. It's not exact, but it's okay. Not terrible. And the last one here is this last pink one. It is, if you have girls, this is definitely the one to get, because it's got flowers all over it. It's got a little ladybug up here. It's got lots of color, lots of different color. Like, they picked this thing out. Like, let's count the colors: purple, green, gray, brown, pink, light pink, yellow, and bright red, and black. So, I mean, geez, there's almost a dozen colors on this thing. Not too terrible. I mean, you're not going to have to paint this. You can put a little wash on it. You can put a little dry brush on it if you want. But you're probably going to ruin it if you do that, unless you just start all the way over, which I wouldn't suggest. So, here's the back side. Not looking too bad. And here is our human, which is way oversized for the door. Here's our little gnome, which is still a little oversized, but it's now we're getting into play pretend. And then our goblin marauder, which it's like, you know, after a long day of marauding, he's got to go home to his wife and kids. And this is the house that you can imagine a gnome marauder would raise a family in. All right, so that's it for the flower houses. There may even be more. I mean, you don't know, but I would imagine not, because this is a lot. Like, last year they only had like 4 different kinds, and now they have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They got almost 20 different varieties. That's why I've had to split this up into so many videos. So they're really knocking it out of the park with this stuff. It's not necessarily designed for what we do as war gamers, but it'll work in a pinch. Thanks for watching.